Vampires, beautiful creatures of the night, back to causing a fright, free from the recent teenage atrocities, and back with a ferocity.
In honor of Halloween, I'm gonna look at my favorite vampire story, which also happens to be my favorite manga, Rosario+Vampire.
Rosario is a series I've loved since day one. Monsters, gothic imagery, memorable characters, and a fascinating love story between a human and a vampire. It's the only manga that I know of that has its own sequel series that continues the story a year later, though this was due to it moving from monthly Shonen Jump to Jump Square. Manga artist Akisa Akita wanted to give the series a sense of renewal. Back in 2008, it was made into an anime by Studio Gonzo, which at first sounded exciting. These guys did the first Hellsing series, along with Trinity Blood, so they were no strangers to vampires.
And naturally you think, this has gotta be good, right? Right? Already 12 seconds in, and already my faith in humanity is gone. That's a new record. Well, meantime, why don't we look at the original source material? Because I know Gonzo didn't.
Rosario follows 15-year-old Skune Ano, a pretty normal dude that's going to a private school due to his crappy grades. While being understandably creeped out by the environment, he's run over by a cute girl on a bike, followed by biting. Nom. But after realizing that drinking someone isn't the best form of an introduction, she apologizes and introduces herself as Mocha Akashia, and that she's a vampire.
Oh yeah, because of the title.
Shortly after, Skune discovers that Yokai Academy is actually a school for monsters, and humans can't go there because reasons.
I feel like there's a joke here. I got nothing.
Naturally, he starts to freak the fuck out, but then Mocha shows up and makes everything better. When I first read this, I was just waiting for some sort of catch. I got the feeling Skune wasn't going to be able to hang around her because she'd be a magnet for popularity, or he'd have to work his way up just to be near her or something. But Mocha surprised me. She didn't care about popularity. Hanging out with Skune was all she wanted. She reveals that if the rosary around her neck is removed, she becomes really scary.
You know, I think she's phrasing it wrong. I think what she's trying to say is take a level in badass.
Which is what happens at the end of Chapter 1 when Skune accidentally removes the rosary after being attacked by Jerkface here. When removed, Mocha transforms into her true form, known as Inner Mocha. Inner Mocha ends the fight with one kick. She gives everything a kick, just like Captain S. Anyone remember that? Skune, although he tried to leave for his safety, decides to stay at Yokai, because he found someone he won't find anywhere else. Mocha learns that Skune is human, but at the end of the day, doesn't care. He accepted her for who she is, and until she met him, no one had ever done that for her. The thought is baffling considering how beautiful she is, but never forget, we live in a world where you can be ridiculed for something as simple as a guy trying to show his sensitive side. The series format starts off simple. New monster comes in, causes trouble, Mocha gives them the kick, and they join what soon becomes Skune's unwanted harem. The gang consists of Koromu, the succubus, who smothers Skune with her boobs every chance she gets.
I think she's almost killed him a few times doing that.
Yukari, the cute adorable witch girl, that wants to have a threesome with Mocha and Skune.
Creepy.
Mizori, the quiet shy ice girl that stalks the gang and people on a daily basis.
Well, everyone needs a hobby.
And finally, Ruby, who is also a witch, but she's not around as often.
Fun fact, she's a masochist, and when she shows it, it is hilarious.
Fortunately, the harem aspect doesn't completely dominate the story, at least not to me. The first season in particular is centered on Skune and his journey from being a boy that's scared of everything to a brave young man that always puts his life on the line. His transformation into a vampire from Inner Mocha injecting him with her own blood is spectacular. I was surprised he still retained his humanity. I assumed he was a vampire permanently. But as always, Rosario is full of surprises. I find Skune so relatable as a person. I feel like he's me in a manga. I remember back in high school, I was going through the phase of trying to figure out who I was. I've always been a very sensitive person and often felt insecure about these aspects of myself. But when I started reading Rosario, I was like, wow, here's a guy who's sensitive, gentle, kind, and not at all insecure about it. He's such a selfless person, always putting himself in harm's way, even if it means he could die. It's no wonder all the girls are crazy for him. He saved all their lives and showed them kindness in a way that none of them had experienced. I haven't come across a lot of characters I can identify with on such a personal level. Whatever scenario he's in, I can always visualize myself in his position and making almost the exact same choices. All I can say is, thank you, Skune. for helping me find myself. Of course, I can't continue without talking about the love story between Mocha and Skune. There's a recurring gag of the two of them about to kiss, only for Mocha to drink him, or something just interrupts them. At the start, they each have their moments of being rather insensitive to the other without realizing it, but they learn from their experiences, and always have each other's back. The chemistry between them is cute and heartwarming, and a better love story than Twilight. Now, as I said earlier, the series was turned into an anime in 2008. Actually, in some of the books, it states in 2008 the story was released as an anime. Well, that's a load of crap. The story never even made it, since the studio was more interested in fetishizing panty shots and taking dark and compelling stories and desecrating them.
I don't understand this. I mean, why would you take the series in this direction? I mean, I watched the anime a little bit when I first started reading the manga, and I had heard it was bad, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Fuck Gonzo. No, seriously, just fuck Gonzo. The anime is a complete misrepresentation of the material it's based on. It's not about panty shots 24/7. It's a dark, edgy romantic dramedy with monsters.
Out of all the scenes in the series, this one near the end of episode 1 pisses me off the most. See that Mocha's covered in saliva? What do you think that's implying? Mocha deals with this crap at random points throughout the series, and always gets out of it just in time. This implies she actually had to endure it. Someone actually thought this was funny. It's fucking disgusting. To make matters more frustrating, Skune's character is ruined. He doesn't go through almost any of the hardships he did in the manga. Hell, when he turns into a vampire, what does he do? Nothing! Literally nothing! Why even let him become one at all? He's nothing like his manga self, where he actually does things. You know the funny thing is, I've actually met at least 4 of the voice actors from the show, and I asked each of them if they had read the manga, and they hadn't, so I explained the differences, and they all came to the same conclusion. Why didn't they just do the story from the manga? Bums me out so much knowing that this represents the series. Whenever you look up anything on Rosario, the anime is the first thing you find. Well, maybe someone out there could remake the series and do what Studio Bones did for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay, now I need to get to Season 2 before I castrate myself. Rosario Vampire Season 2 takes place a year after the first one. Skune is back at Yokai Academy with all his friends. By this point, the art style has drastically changed since the series began. In the beginning, Rosario had a rather cartoony, simplistic look, and with this being Akita's first manga, you've seen his style slowly but gradually change into his own. His style is very reminiscent to Takeshio Obata's style, with a perfect blend of realism mixed to a cartoony anime-ish look. I love it. The Monster of the Week formula that was used at the beginning of the series, while still used, isn't as relied on as often. Season 2 goes to very interesting places. Last season, focus was on Skune, and Season 2 takes it one step further and focuses on the girls. And the series gets a main antagonist in the form of the organization known as Fairy Tail.
And before you ask, no, it's not that one.
The first season was pretty dark, but Season 2 takes it up to 11. Mizori is first into a marriage and almost raped by the guy. She gets so traumatized by this, she tries to kill herself, but she's saved by Koromu in an unexpected way. Yeah, this actually happens in the series. It isn't fan-made, it's real. At first, it's sort of uncomfortably funny since, she just tried to kill herself. But it turns into a sincere, heartwarming moment between the characters being there for one another. It's a beautiful moment. One thing I always kept connecting to Rosario was the Castlevania series. If you look at them, they have a lot in common. Gothic atmosphere, vampires, witches, succubuses, snow fairies, medusas, and to top it all off, in Volume 4, while training with Ruby, Skune is given a whip to train with. First time I saw this, my mind was just blown. It's the fucking Castlevania whip, Vampire Killer. Though the name is changed to Belmont in honor of the Belmont family that would hunt Dracula in the games. It's even got the artwork from the original NES game in there. It's so awesome. This means that Rosario and Castlevania take place in the same universe. No wonder it kept connecting the two. What I love most about Season 2 is Skune's continued success in becoming a badass and Inner Mocha getting more development. Skune's abilities start to become second nature to him. He doesn't even have to go full vampire just to fight. He finally gets to use his own strength. Inner Mocha, for the most part, is usually only seen briefly at the climax at most of the chapters, but in Volume 6, Inner Mocha gets to have a normal day at school, like everyone else. She excels in her classes and proves to be rather good at everything. That is, until she gets to cooking, which she's not good at. So the others all try to help her out.
I can't even... How?
Now, I'm not going to give away Mocha's backstory. All I'll say is it's the first time a manga got me to cry. I kept up with the series for over 5 years until late last year when it was announced that the series would be ending in 2014. I was both excited and sad to hear this. I was sad that it was going because it was always a big highlight for me every month. It honestly became the only manga series I kept up with, as other stuff I read either ended or overstayed their welcome or I just lost interest. But I never got tired of Rosario. It never brought me disappointment or any sense of irritation. Always showed me enough just to get me to come back for more. I was so excited to see how the series was going to end. I will say that the ending of the series was very satisfying. I did feel it was a bit rushed, but still worked at the end. The epilogue released afterwards was very funny and heartwarming. Since it ended, I can't lie, I miss it. I often wonder if a third season will happen. But I don't know how Akira could top this. I'd rather miss it than dread it. In the end, I'm glad I discovered Rosario Vampire. It helped shape me into the person I am today, and delivered an unforgettable experience that I will cherish for the rest of my life.